Hello and good evening, everyone. We're continuing on with Case 2 of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Going about solving that murder in the prison. It looks like that Dogen guy could have done it if he was able to order his dog to attack Knightley. But then there's the question of how he got the dog from the prison to the holding rooms. So let's go ahead and continue. March 28th, 3:02 p.m. Yes, and then there's the matter of Simon Keys here. Apparently he works for the Very Big Circus, who is having an animal show in the prison, so he did have access that day. Why did you not mention that beforehand? No, but I did. What didn't I mention? That you're a member of the Very Big Circus. No, it's just that, I'm not. I can't call myself a member yet. I'm just a new recruit. Regardless, that still makes you a member. Oh, gee, that's right. He gets really intimidated around Edgeworth. So why didn't you tell us that before? If I told you I was part of the circus, it would have made me look suspicious, right? Since I also knew Knightley and all that. I didn't think anyone would believe what I had to say. Not even you guys, Kay. Didn't we promise to believe in you? But, Mr. Edgeworth, you're just kind of scary. Man, you're just terrible at getting info from people, aren't you, Miles? That's none of your concern. Looks like we need to have a talk with him again. So, what did you do in the circus, Simon? I guess you could say I'm a wild animal tamer. I'm still just an apprentice, though. Wow, that's incredible. So you command lions and tigers to do your bidding, right? Nuh-uh, nothing crazy like that. No way, no way, no way. My partner's this little guy right here. Monkey. And that makes you a wild animal tamer? He's more like an organ grinder than a wild animal tamer. Oh. Hey, Money, cut that out. He can be quite a handful sometimes. Oh, that's right. Is that the same monkey in the second Ace Attorney game? What the hell? I thought organ grinders control their monkeys, not the other way around. Alright. Yesterday you told us you were just a regular employee, correct? Even if I'm a member of the circus, I'm still legally an employee. We're just like any regular company. The ringleader's the boss, and I'm just a grunt. I even have a supervisor. She's the head of the Wild Animal Tamer Division. No matter what kind of fierce creature, they'll immediately follow her every command. Is this who I think it is? She might even be able to get a handle on Miles here. I am not a wild animal. Did you and your supervisor take part in the animal show here in the prison? Yeah, it was just us two. It was only a small operation this time around. Basically, my supervisor takes center stage and I take care of all the dirty work. Well, I did have a tiny part in the performance. So there are only 2 members of the circus that are related to this case. So can you tell me about your movements around the prison? Okay, I went to meet Knightley 2 days ago around noon. And that's when you gave him the chessboard. That's right. And that night I started setting up the stage in the courtyard. It was pretty tough going back and forth, moving all those crates by myself. I left everything in workroom A, I think. Just temporary storage. Ooh, that's where the body was found, isn't it? Workroom A, that's where the body was discovered. Didn't your supervisor help you at all? No way, I can't let her do anything like that. That's my job. After I got everything ready, we started rehearsing. When we left, it was almost midnight. The show is set to start at 8 a.m. the next day and go on until 10 a.m. The only one who went in and out of where the body was found is Mr. Keyes. That might be also why they suspect him. And then the body was found just before the show ended. Do you happen to know why you were arrested? It's weird how it happened so fast. I don't think that DePest guy would just have you arrested on a whim. I wouldn't put it past him, though. Maybe it's because of that. When I was moving the crates, I decided to go check up on him. You know, Knightley. So you went to his cell during this time. You went directly into the detention block? Did you have permission? No, I had to sneak in. It wasn't a formal visit or anything. Didn't you already see him 2 days ago? Why would you go and do such a thing? Well, we're the only friends either of us had since childhood. He was the same as me. We never had real families. I just wanted to talk with him for a bit, so I went to see him. You didn't have a family. When I was younger, I lost the only family I had, my father. So is that it? I know all too well how it feels to lose your father at a young age. So you're the same as Mr. Edgeworth and me. Yeah, Kay too. So it was just the two of you talking at that time. Yes, all the other cells were empty and there weren't any guards nearby either. So that means he was alive then. But then you got found out, and that's why they suspected you. What? What? Did I do something really bad? Something must have happened while Mr. Keyes and Knightley were alone. That's probably the best logic. It seems we'll need to talk with your supervisor as well. She should be here today too. Probably in the courtyard. Sorry it turned out like this, boss. Simon, if there's anything we can do to help, just tell us. What? But I can't do anything in return. Don't you worry about that. We're your allies. That's because we're like birds of a feather, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Birds of a feather, huh? I suppose that's true. We have sufficient information about your past. I doubt you had a motive to kill Knightley. Rather, you're probably the most affected by his death. And I doubt someone as timid as you could work up the courage to murder someone. Alright, I'll get you out of here. We'll believe in you. Well, what do we have here? Starting to get the hang of the whole defense attorney gig. You sounded a bit like your old man just now. Me. Sound like my father. He would say, the defense attorney's job is to be an ally to the deserted. If you're gonna ride that stallion into the sunrise, wait for me, I want it too. Mr. Shields, I think you mean sunset. Yeah, of course. It was just a joke. Want some candy? Huh? No, thank you. I don't like sweets. Oh, really? What a shame. What's wrong with the sunrise? The legendary Yatagarasu is all about the sun. Since the sunlight always exposes the truth. Good grief. For now, let's just head to the prison courtyard and see what we can find there. Ah, the shutter's open. Yes, it looks like that way leads to the courtyard. So what are we waiting for? Come on, let's get a move on. She's certainly in high spirits. So this is the courtyard. Okay, one thing I'm immediately seeing is some of those same sheets that we saw that was draped over the body. Just before the body was discovered, the animal show was held here. Looks just like a carnival. Man, I'll bet it was lots of fun. The prisoners were gathered here when the body was found. So that means whoever saw the show has an alibi. We should start by checking the area for... Eee! Kay! Oh. Cut it out, you! Help me, Mr. Edgeworth! You there! Stop right this instant! Ow, 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 ow! Someone! Anyone! Help! Down! And Tisk! Down! Who are... Ah, as I thought. Regina Berry. Looks like you found a new playmate. Good for you, Tisk. Astique? I wasn't playing around. It was about to eat me. Huh? No way. That's impossible. This child doesn't bite. Often. Often, huh? People normally never get to play with an elephant up close. Isn't it wonderful? No, it's not. It's wonderful, right? It was simply marvelous, little lady. Mr. Shields. Really? Oh, that makes me so happy! So how about a hug? As thanks. Of course, he's already coming onto her. Hey, watch where you swing that thing! Weren't you taught not to hit people with your trunk? Apparently not. Looks like Teague is friends with everyone. I am an assistant of this defense attorney. My name is Miles Edgeworth. Ah, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Regina Barry. Nice to meet you. I'm the great thief and defense attorney's assistant's assistant, Kay Faraday. That's a rather complicated job title. And the one playing with Mr. Elephant is the defense attorney, Mr. Ray Shields. It's not Mr. Elephant, it's Estique, the fantastic Asian elephant. You're incredible, Regina. You made Estique stop right away. Well, I am a wild animal tamer, after all. Really? Then you must be Simon's supervisor. Yep, I'm the head of the Very Big Circus Wild Animal Tamer Division. The one and only Regina Barry. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Ace Attorney, Ray Shields. Looks like he's the one she has a handle on. Yes, she's perfect. What are you mumbling about, Kay? Look at her. She's energetic, fun-loving, and healthy. She could be the new member of the Yatagarasu. She'd be perfect as a great thief. Great thief? That sounds like fun. We can make a huge ruckus with the animals. Oh, Kay's recruiting members now. You can't make a ruckus. A great thief is supposed to be quiet and sneaky-like. But the show needs to have flash. Being quiet is kind of boring. I guess she's not very thief-like after all. Well, the monkey can steal things, though. Seems there's some breakdown in negotiations. Alright, let's just get started, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's check out anything that looks suspicious. We'll even look through the barbed wire if we have to. Yes, we need to gather more information about the case. We should also try talking with anyone connected to the case. Danger, high voltage. These signs really do exist. On the other side, you can see what appears to be the detention center's garden. Just sport and roll instead. You can see the garden from our office. Okay. If it weren't for this barbed wire, we could take a look at the garden on the other side. That's Warden Roland's prized garden. I doubt she'd let us in so easily. We'll see what Regina knows. Head of the Wild Animal Tamer Division. Are you Mr. Key's supervisor? That's right. Very Big Circus was created by my daddy. But Daddy died in a murder incident. your dad is... That seems to be becoming a pretty common theme. But after that, our current ringmaster made the circus even bigger. Yep, once again, all this happened in the second Ace Attorney game, Justice for All. The ringmaster is Daddy's close friend. He's like a funny uncle. Wow, a funny uncle? That's great, Regina. Yep, Uncle Mo established the Wild Animal Tamer, Magic, and Ventriloquist divisions. Only the Wild Animal Tamer and Ventriloquist divisions have subordinates, though. Very Big Circus is going to become even more fabulous. Yes, that sounds amazing. The way these two are carrying on, I'd hate to put a damper on things. Could you tell us about the animal show? It's an amazing show. It has a storyline and everything. What's more, it's a love story. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Huh, very nice. Are you the heroine, Regina Pie? No, the heroine of the show is Astique. The elephant. And her partner is Regent the tiger. It's about the forbidden love between an elephant and a tiger. Okay. Elephant and tiger. Forbidden love. That's right. It's what they call a love triangle. Isn't it romantic? Sounds amazing, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Heroine. Astique is a female elephant? Since it's a love triangle, shouldn't there be one more animal involved? Yep. The third animal, he's the one who interferes with the love between Astique and Regent. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you think it is? Well, since it's a circus, perhaps a lion? I think a crow would be nice. The third animal is a naughty little monkey. The scale suddenly got smaller. Ah, Money the monkey? Nope, the one who plays the role of the monkey is Simon. But Money's a little too small. He's like the villain who tries to break up the love between Astique and Regent. How will Astique and Regent control their own destiny? Isn't it wonderful? I guess. I thought Mr. Keys just did all the grunt work. Wouldn't you feel sorry for Simon if he didn't get to perform on stage? He did mention he had a small role, but didn't really elaborate. Could you tell me about the preparations for the show? Simon handled everything, so I don't know that much about it. Simon insisted on it. He wanted me to focus on the show. I saw Simon doing something near the well, though. The well? If I recall, it was behind the stage. Better go take a look at it later. He even moved this giant cage all by himself. Simon is such a nice guy. That sounds like something Simon would do. While crying profusely. During the preparation, Simon went back and forth between the workroom and the courtyard. We were using the workroom to store our equipment. Only Simon entered that room, so I don't know anything about it. The workroom. Was it the one where we found the dead body? So Simon was the only one who entered workroom A. Man, the bad news just keeps on coming. Mr. Lawyer, please promise me you'll help Simon. Don't worry. Despite his looks, Mr. Edgeworth is really amazing. What do you mean, despite his looks? Despite my looks? What's wrong with the way I look? Yeah, how about damned by faint praise? Oh my. Oh, it's Patty again. There you are, Regina, darling. Ah, Miss Roland. I was looking all over for you. I wanted to have a little chat with you. Might as well have a little chat with her, too. Could you tell me a little bit about this prison? Currently, this place is my pride and joy, which I like to call our home. When I first came here, this prison was in a terrible state. Terrible state? You mean the prisoners' attitudes? There are no bad children in my family. It was the environment that was terrible. That's why, after giving it a lot of thought, I enlisted the help of the animals. Being together with animals will soften up even the most hardened criminals. Right now, everyone was returned to their most honest self. Just take a look at Frankie. He's a model prisoner. A model prisoner who's trying to steal from a dead body. There are lots of model prisoners here, but Frankie is number one. He's proactive with his job training and helps out with the chores. Don't the other model prisoners do job training and chores? Huh? Don't be silly, they all do, of course. It's just that Frankie here, he has his sights set on something different. Something feels strange. In any case, he's a very good boy. Please get along with one another. The enchanting music, the prancing animals. The Very Big Circus is fabulous. If you come here, you can see a show once a month. Really? Then maybe I should... Was she just thinking about committing a crime? Once a month, you said. Is it always the Very Big Circus? Of course. I'm Regina Darling's biggest fan. My darling Regina, she's just so fabulous. She's such a cutie pie, I could just eat her up. She really likes her darling Regina. That's why I'm worried about poor little Simon. If he's found guilty, Regina Darling will be heartbroken. Mr. Lawyer, please take care of little Simon. If there's anything I can help with, please don't hesitate to ask. It's a wicker crate. No, there are tires attached to it, so I guess it's a cart. Kinda smells like animals. They probably use this instead of a hand trolley at the circus. Just once I'd like to ride one of these bad boys down a hill. Or maybe one of those office chairs with wheels. Doesn't that sound like fun? What is she talking about? I'm Kay Faraday, and welcome to Jackass. The door's locked. Want me to pick the lock? Success isn't guaranteed, though. No, if need be, I'll just borrow a key. Sheesh. Thought it was finally a chance for me to steal the spotlight. Don't even think about stealing anything in my presence, not even the spotlight. It's the Very Big Circus's Asian elephant, ST. Supposedly very friendly with humans. Doesn't seem very friendly. It's your stern gaze, Mr. Edgeworth. It must think you're the boss. Are you comparing me to an animal? That's not what I meant. I think it approves of you. That doesn't make me the least bit happy. Can't do anything up on the stage. This is the stage where they put on the animal show. If I put on a great thief show, I wonder if anyone would come. I'm pretty sure the police would show up. Oh, Zod's here. This crude-looking well seems handcrafted. Was it built by the inmates? There are a bunch of tools lying around the well. A long piece of rope and a heavy-looking weight. It weighs 33 pounds. Says so right there. Oh. Says so right there. There's even a couple of pulleys. Okay, please stop touching other people's things. Stingy pants, I'm just checking stuff out. It's not like I'm gonna take them home with me. Still, these tools. What were they used for? Oh. Ah, Mr. Attorney, how are we looking today? We're doing, Hey, we just met a few moments ago. Please do forgive me. Ever since I've come here, I've been working on refining my speech. That's not the only thing that needs refining. Right now, I'm helping out with the cleanup after the show. But if there's anything you need, please let me know. You'll have my full cooperation. I'm in the middle of volunteer work right now. As you can see, I'm a model prisoner. I've been reborn inside this prison. Reborn as a thief? The devil made me do it. How can you blame the devil? You're a disgrace to thieves. I have nothing to say. I still have much to learn. As a thief? But as you can see, I've exchanged my bracelet for a working one. I will continue to devote myself to being a model prisoner. Again with a model prisoner. Give it a rest already. I'm trying to pay my debt to society once I become eligible for parole. So you were training instead of watching the animal show? So there were only two people who didn't watch the show. Saw it and Dogen. Why didn't you say anything about Dogen earlier? Well, if you asked any inmate at this prison, they'd all think twice before telling you. That person is like the ruler of this place. Around here, we call him the supplier. The supplier? If you ask him nicely, he can provide you with anything you want. What? Is that allowed? Normally it's not allowed, but with him it's another story. He supposedly has a secret route to procure these goods. Secret route, huh? As the supplier, Dogen would be in a position of power. However, I put all that behind me. All I care about now is supplying mud packs to the animals. Mud packs? I coat the animal's fur with my mineral-rich mud packs to give it a beautiful shine. To help with my training, I give them to all the animals in prison, each and every one of them. All of them, including including Dogen's black dog? Mud, huh? Could be related to that piece of evidence. I should present it to him. Yeah, these were his gloves, and we did find mud on them. That's the rubber glove I dropped. Where did the mud on this glove come from? Ah, that's the mud from my mud packs. At the time I was practicing applying my mud packs, could you tell me when this took place on the day of the incident? Since the animal show had started, I'd say it was around 9 a.m. The mud packs turned the animals' bodies pitch black, and my heart was pure white. Pitch black, you say? I was totally engrossed with covering the animals in mud. Prison life must have taxed on stress levels. Thanks to the warden's policies, I can undergo job training here. I owe her a debt of gratitude. But really, I would have loved to show everyone yesterday. You did a wonderful job on the stage, Regina, darling. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm glad all the prisoners came to see it. Well, about that, just between you and me, not everyone came to see the show. That would be Dogen and Sod, I imagine. There were 3 people who didn't see your show yesterday. Oh. Unbelievable, really. Excuse me, but did you say there were 3 prisoners who didn't see the show? That's right, I took a count and there were 3 empty seats. And we even had the correct number of seats set out. Doesn't that seem weird to you, Mr. Edgeworth? It does. We thought that Dogen and Sot were the only 2 prisoners. So who is the 3rd one? You were not present in the courtyard during the show. But that doesn't add up. Where did the 3rd person go? Further investigation is needed. I was having so much fun talking to you, Regina, darling, that I completely forgot. It's time to feed my baby. My baby? What, the mink around your... Wait, are you going to tell us who the 3rd missing person... Oh! An alligator? It's an alligator! Oh, Allie, you look as cute as ever. Oh, how cute! So her name is Allie. Yep, she's Allie, the alligator. How long did it take you to come up with that name? She's my favorite out of all my family. How lovely! I want to try petting it. If Regina darling wants to pet it, go right ahead. I'll allow it. Oh boy. They'll let it take an arm off, or worse. They seem pretty excited. We need to go check the prison cells, don't we? That's right. Let's hope for the 3rd prisoner who didn't see the animal show. Oh, is this... Oh, yeah. Detective Gumshoe. I take it the investigation's running smoothly? The judge and that prosecutor haven't shown up yet. Oh yeah, I also got your message, sir. What was the result of the examination of the victim's cell? We had the jackpot, sir. Traces of blood were found on the cell floor. There wasn't a whole lot there, though. This should prove that the murder occurred in the holding cell. Indeed. The probability has increased. However, we still can't say for certain. I thought you'd say that, sir, so I asked the lab guys to look into it a little further. They're running an analysis on the blood, so we'll know soon if it's the victims or not. Way to go, Gummy. Good thinking. Detective, you've outdone yourself. What caused this sudden foresight? I'm actually a little hurt that you're so surprised by it, sir. I hope nothing bad comes of this. Once we get the results, we can prove that the scene was the holding cell, which leaves finding out how that doggy managed to sneak his way in here. Just leave that to me, pal. Since that other prosecutor isn't here, we can investigate as much as we want. That's why I brought my secret weapons with me. Secret weapons? That's right, pal. They've gotten us out of a few jams before. Take a gander at Dick Gumshoe's 7 secret weapons. Looks like he'll come in handy. Want to take up his offer, Miles? Detective, please allow us the use of your secret weapons. Sure thing, sir. First, I'll give you a rundown. Secret weapon number 1. The trusty metal detector. Ah, yes. Perfect for finding all kinds of metallic objects. As its name implies. Next, secret weapon number 2. Everyone's favorite pal, Missile. The dog. He can track any scent you want, especially the scent of food. He's much cuter than Mr. Dogen's dog. And secret weapon number 3. It's, this. The fishing pole. Isn't that a fishing pole? Were you trying to catch? No, actually, I just brought it by accident. Never mind that. What's next, detective? That's all of them, sir. That is not 7. What? You called them the 7 secret weapons, but there's only 3 of them. That's all I have for now, pal. We can use the rest next time. Oh, this guy. I can't just reveal them all at once. Why do you think they're called secret weapons, pal? Doesn't matter. We'll just use the 3 that he's provided. Alright, which one do you want to use? Missile seems to be make the most sense. You want Missile, sir? If he can track the scent. Hey, pal, over here, Missile. Oh, there he is. First, let's decide what scent he should track down. We're searching for the route Dogen's dog used to get to the detention cell. This route would have also been the same path used to carry the body back to the prison. So if we haven't tracked the scent of the body, that should lead us to the path. Don't you smell something sweet? Sweet. Really, all I can smell is the scent of blood. It's a very faint scent, like cake or something. The scent of cake from the body. Alright, Missile, get a good whiff of that scent, pal. Come on, let's follow after him. That way is... He's heading towards the special cell. he's gone straight inside. Yes, let's follow him. This is Dogen's cell, but it looks like he's absent at the moment. Maybe he's being interrogated. What's in here? Shh! I think he's found something. Oh. Down, boy. What could there be in this room? Mr. Edgeworth, we better take a look. What are these? Cookies? A teacup and biscuits. I suppose he has his tea and tea. He has his tea time in here too. Playing chess while drinking tea in his cell. Isn't this going a bit overboard with the special treatment? It's like he gets whatever he wants. Don't complain to me. You should tell him yourself. I think I'll pass on that. Okay, same thing. Dogen's chessboard. Still has that hound piece on it. The chessboard has legs. Aren't those things expensive? They can be. This is very good craftsmanship. Did he He said he carved the chess pieces himself. Maybe he did the same with that. Mr. Dogen playing chess is kind of unexpected, you know. I figured he'd be more of a Go player or something like that. Go. Do you play Go, Kay? I'm really good at Go Bang. But that's not Go. The heck is Go Bang? Look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. There's a small chisel here. Oh, well, I was looking at the bell, but... I'm not well versed in woodworking, but this seems to be a pocket-sized chisel. Pocket-sized chisel. Must be convenient to have one wherever you go. Is that from a thief's point of view? No, it's from a great thief's point of view. She didn't even skip a beat. It's the chisels Dogen uses. More than enough for him to murder someone with. Speaking of chisels, kinda looks like someone used a chisel on your forehead, Mr. Edgeworth. Why do you say that? What's that supposed to mean? See, that furrow between your brow is getting deeper. Looks just like a carving. Oh, God. I would leave the subject alone if I were you. Missile, maybe? This what you're barking at? Oh. Oh, hey, knock it off, pal. Oh. Chocolate cake is bad for dogs. Oh, so we found where the cake came from. That's how it's gonna be. I'll eat it all myself. Wow, that was pretty good. Good for you, but it looks like someone else has a problem with that. That wasn't fair, Gummy. I wanted to eat it too. I doubt it's wise to eat food you find lying around a prison. Anyway, I guess Missile was barking at the cake, sir. That was pointless. Is that police dog gonna get the job done? He's fine, pal. He was just following his stomach instead of his nose. Let's track down the center of the body for real this time, Missile. Looks like you found something else, sir. Now where are you leading us? This cell? Now it's this cell. This would be Mr. Elbert's cell. I'd like to examine the interior. Detective, call guard. Roger that, sir. Again, I noticed the parrot in the cell on the left. Could that be a certain Yanni Yogi's cell? Good work, Detective. By the way, is J. Elbert still being held in the disciplinary room? No, he should have already returned. He was present during the noon roll call. He may have been assigned to work someplace else. I see. Well then, may you examine the cell? Yes, sir. Oh, he has Patty's likeness on his punching bag. Yeah, I don't know about your precious family there, Patty. The sandbag. Whoa. You want a box 2 missile? Look at him go. Can't be. Detective, move the sandbag at once. Yes, sir. Ooh. He got an escape tunnel? A hole? This is... Hey, missile, come back here! I'm going too. Hold it. I'll stop him, sir. No, it's too tight for me, sir. Detective. Can't be helped. I'll have to wait for her to contact me. Hello, Kay, are you alright? Don't get so worked up. Right now I'm in the detention center. The detention center? That hole comes out at Knightley's cell. So now we have... Really? Stay where you are. I'm coming over there now. Okay. This looks like a good cutoff for a second, so I'll see you in a few minutes and see where this new piece of evidence leads us. Alright. So, we have found a secret tunnel in Elbert's cell leading to Knightley's. So does this mean he's the killer? Okay. Mr. Edgeworth. I really helped out, didn't I? Indeed. She doesn't appear to be injured. The floorboards have been ripped out from under the bed, sir. I see. Seems we found what we're looking for. Yeah, but if he... I don't know, if Elbert tunneled his way into the cell, you'd think Knightley would have been made more aware of it. The passageway between the detention center and prison is blocked by solid doors. However, there's a secret underground tunnel beneath it. We were following a sweet scent and arrived here. That means the scent must have come from Knightley's body. Come to think of it, his body was covered in dirt. It may have been caused by passing through the tunnel. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, what was the inside of the tunnel like? It was pitch black, so I really couldn't see much, but I took some photos. Please show us. This is... spoons and forks. Were these used to dig the tunnel? But more importantly, what are these footprints? These footprints. Could they belong to a dog? Did the dog dig this tunnel? This will surely be vital evidence. However, before we consider that, we have a big problem. A problem? J. Elbert could use this tunnel to move around freely. Detective, confirm his whereabouts post-haste. Perhaps he's... You may be right, sir. This is a big deal. After speaking with the guards, the search for J. Elbert was carried out immediately. They searched every nook and cranny of the detention center and the prison. But in the end, they found no sign of him. Did you contact the police? Yes, ma'am. We've already done that. We set up a security perimeter around the prison, ma'am. Right. This is the first scandal in our prison's history. We're so sorry. She's completely different from before. Mr. Edgeworth, was it? Thank you for finding the escapee's tunnel. But it's a little too late. Mr. Elbert has long since left here. So did he escape? I don't believe he's gone beyond the detention center. Yeah, because even if he tunneled into that cell, was it already unlocked? Also, there's security gates located at the exit of the detention center. Yeah, that too. I believe it would have been difficult to get through those, wouldn't you agree? Maybe he has another tunnel. We certainly can't deny that possibility. However, anyway, there's no use in you being here now. Unless he was able to break his bracelet just like Saw it. Please return to your investigation. Yes, we'll do that. You guys get back to your post, too. Yes, ma'am. Detective Gumshoe, sir. We got the results of that blood test you requested. Good work, pal. These are the forensic results of the blood stain found in Knightley's cell. So what's it say, Mr. Edgeworth? The blood is confirmed to have been Knightley's. Once again, shows evidence he was attacked in that cell. Hey now, that's good news. We found the blood stain in Knightley's cell and discovered the tunnel the dog used. Furthermore, the security camera shows footage of a dog attacking Knightley in his cell. We have all the evidence we need. It's time we ask Dogen a few questions. Dogen, did you say? Please, use utmost caution. That man even has henchmen outside of the prison. Outside of the prison? Is this related to his secret trade routes as the supplier? The police have been searching for Dogen's henchmen for ages. I've also been helping them, but... So that means back then. So he still won't talk? Even after all the trouble you went through to get the evidence transferred from the precinct. That's right. I don't know how many times I've tried. I can't report back empty-handed. That assassin sure is one tough cookie, huh? You had evidence transferred from the precinct. Yes. We borrowed all the evidence concerning Dogen. I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but... no matter how much evidence we have on him, we can't get a single word out of him. The warden interrogates him herself. Why go that far? Lose your focus and he'll eat you alive. Be on your guard. Whoa, you've made Uncle Ray a little nervous. Oh, they're here. Judge Courtney, what are you doing here? Questioning a prisoner? Did you forget that we're investigating as well? Or rather, have you forgotten my warning? If you value your badge, you should not have appeared before me again. I'm sorry if you thought that I would abide by those words. I won't overlook something important just to heed your warning. I've come for a testimony about the truth of this case which you've overlooked. You mean to say you require my humble services? As I promised, I've returned to prove that you are the culprit. Interesting. Do tell. Before that, you should first listen to our reasoning. We can say with confidence that Simon Keyes is the culprit. They're still insisting it was him. Only Simon Keyes could have moved Mr. Knightley into the prison. And we can show proof of this fact. But first, I'd like to hear your resolve, Prosecutor Edgeworth. If our reasoning is correct, will you submit it to us? Your prosecutor's badge. You'll deprive him of his badge? Is that a threat, pal? No, it's not a threat. Rather, an act of compassion. Normally, I wouldn't even have taken notice of you, since you have no right to investigate. However, if you're able to show proper resolve, I would be willing to let you be my opponent. Are you willing to risk it? Your prosecutor's badge? Mr. Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Very well. I trust my own reasoning, but moreover, at the moment, I'm currently a defense attorney. I'm currently a defense attorney's assistant and a prosecutor's second. I will not sully the good name of the Edgeworth law offices. I intend to see my job through. I won't yield to your threats. So be it. Is this bravery or simply foolishness? On the goddess of law's behalf, I shall be the judge of that. Sebastian, allow me to... Yeah, I got it. I'm counting on you, Justine. I presume you know of the incident Mr. Knightley caused the day before yesterday. He attacked a guard and stole his keys. Afterwards, Simon Keyes stopped by his cell with an animal cage from the show. Oh, you think he gave the keys to him? Oh no. Wait. During this time, Mr. Knightley was able to use the stolen key to exit his cell. He then hid in the cage while it was moved to the prison workroom. So Mr. Keyes went to his cell after all. After hearing you talk about the security camera yesterday, we investigated it ourselves. Why don't you have a look? I have here a printout of the security camera footage. This is the moment when Mr. Keyes visited Knightley. Exactly. As you can see, the cage creates a huge blind spot in the cell. By using this blind spot, Mr. Knightley could have entered the cage. That is our reasoning. A blind spot. That means the camera doesn't actually show him entering the cage. At this time, there's still the possibility that Knightley never left his cell. But why would he be hiding inside an animal cage? Mr. Knightley was planning to escape from prison. That is the only possibility. A prison escape? That's so cool! First Mr. Elbert, now Mr. Knightley? I won't let him show me up. Okay, this isn't the time to get excited. J. Elbert's escape is no laughing matter. Simon Keyes was aiding Mr. Knightley in his escape. In other words, he was an accomplice. What, just to kill him afterwards? Not bad, Simon. Don't praise him! That cage was transported temporarily to the workroom. Originally, Mr. Knightley was to remain hidden until the end of the animal show. He would then be carried out along with the cage. I presume that was the plan. However, midway through the plan, he was betrayed by Simon Keyes and murdered. Judge Courtney's reasoning does appear to make sense. However, there must be a hole somewhere. I must not overlook anything. Right. Why would he have needed to do such a thing? In order to escape. How else would you explain his actions? That is... The animal cages are made of metal. They would not have been subjected to a check. The animal show takes place once a month. So naturally, Simon Keyes would have known about it. That wasn't enough to negate her point. As long as the cage was covered, it would have been simple to avoid the guard's eyes. But instead of helping Mr. Knightley escape, Simon Keyes betrayed and killed him. This is truly an unforgivable crime. She says Mr. Knightley stole the keys, but... he denied it, didn't he? Unless Knightley had the keys, this logic doesn't add up. This will be the breaking point. I'll try pressing the testimony further. Because we didn't actually find the keys on him afterwards. Do you have proof Knightley stole the keys? It is the only explanation as to why Mr. Knightley would have attacked the guard. We will know for certain the moment the guard regains consciousness. Is that really true? There is one point in your reasoning that's odd. If Knightley did indeed steal the key, I'd expect he'd try to escape immediately. Was it really necessary for him to wait for Mr. Keyes to help him escape? He simply chose the method with the highest probability of success. After stealing the key, he concealed it on his personage, as he waited for the opportune moment. That is what I believe. He concealed the key. Judge Courtney, such an oversight is unlike you. Knightley could not have concealed the key, and I can prove it. Yeah, current location unknown. And I don't believe we found it on his body either. Haven't the guards informed you yet? They searched Knightley after he attacked the guard, and the key was nowhere to be found. Since the key's location is unknown, your logic doesn't hold. That is not an issue. There's an explanation. Mr. Knightley had the key, it simply wasn't found. The reason being, he concealed it inside the chessboard. The chessboard? You mean the one that concealed the murder weapon? Come now, how do we know whether or not the murder weapon was really there? What? Take some responsibility for your own words. That was all Sebastian's idea, after all. So those two don't always agree on their reasoning. In other words, once we put all the pieces together, Mr. Knightley concealed the key he stole from the guard inside the chessboard. When When Simon Keyes arrived, Mr. Knightley used the key to slip out of his cell. He entered the animal cage and was transported to the workroom. All thanks to his accomplice, Simon Keyes. Mr. Knightley had planned to be carried outside after the show had ended. However, he was betrayed by his accomplice and murdered during the circus performance. Mr. Keyes performed in the show. He would have had no opportunity to murder him during the circus performance. No opportunity? Is that so? A story plays itself out on the stage. And such was the case with the animal show. So she examined the content of the show. The suspect plays the role of the villain who antagonizes the elephant heroine. In the final act, the villain is defeated by the heroine's love and all ends well. At that point, the suspect, in the role of the villain, is blown away by the heroine's burning love and makes his exit. Was he hurt? After being blown away, the suspect disappeared from the stage. The suspect was absent from the stage for about 15 minutes. Are you saying the crime was committed during that time? Even in such a short period of time, it would still be possible to carry out the murder. Don't you think so? So he committed the crime in 15 minutes and then returned to the stage. That may have been possible if the crime scene had been the prison. Judge Courtney, the actual crime took place in the detention center. I'm afraid I cannot accept that camera footage alone as evidence. As for evidence, I have it. Well then, please show us your evidence. We just got it here. Yeah, that was his blood we found in the cell. This is the floor. Oh, goddess of law, I am unable to comprehend your mysterious ways. This is what we discovered. The area here was tested positive for Mr. Knightley's blood. This blood test, can it really be trusted? To begin with, how were you able to conduct a scientific investigation? I happen to have a subordinate. I can't vouch for his competence, but he is a man I trust. He doesn't know whether to take that as an insult or a compliment. That detective? This concerns me. I cannot think why one would disturb the order of law. The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee's influence goes as far as the police department. Gummy's in trouble? Forgive me, Detective. I'm afraid something bad may come of this. Oh no. I will accept the fact that blood was found at the detention center as evidence. However... How ridiculous. Oh, what is it, Draco? This is unthinkable of you, you third-rate prosecutor! Mr. DeBest, you're here? Completely forgotten about him. There's a giant contradiction in your statement. According to the security tape, a dog killed Knightley in his cell. Then, after he left the cell, the blood on the floor was wiped away. Did the dog wipe away the bloodstains? As if that could happen. That is possible, of my Anubis, right, boy? Whoa! That was one of the tricks I taught him while I was still in the outside world. Really, he can wipe away blood? He makes sure to hide any bloodstains he makes. Does he, like, just lick up the blood? So as not to leave behind any evidence. You're kind of incriminating yourself here, though. I was saved, if only by chance. Shouldn't you have taught your dog to shake or something? Anubis also performs that trick very well. But the shake I taught him is a little different from others. First, he bites the victim's hand. Stop! 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 I don't want to hear anymore! I see. I understand. Prosecutor Edgeworth. It appears you've gathered a good hand. Glad you understand. Now what? My argument isn't over yet. Objection overruled. Hey now, that's a little harsh. Sebastian, will you allow me the privilege of explaining? Sure, Justine. Do you finally realize? The murder occurred in the detention center, therefore the assassin's pet dog. My opinion has not changed. Unless I can understand how the dog was able to enter and leave the crime scene. I'm afraid I cannot accept your logic, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I've been waiting for you to say that. Now, let me show you. This evidence shows the route the dog used to go between the detention center and prison. This photo. It shows a secret tunnel hidden in the prison. That's impossible! A secret tunnel? This tunnel was dug by the escaped prisoner, J. Elbert. It begins in his prison cell, and is connected to a holding cell in the detention center. Namely, the victim's cell. I'm shocked. How did this... Dogen, you must have known of this, since you used this tunnel to commit murder. In the name of the goddess of law, I hereby reject Prosecutor Edgeworth's claim.
Hold it!
What do you mean? Evidence is everything. That remains true here, just as in the courtroom. Isn't that right? I have evidence here. Horace Knightley's autopsy report. Oh, autopsy report? Since when? Why are you surprised? This was delivered straight from the police a short while ago. It's not complete yet, more of a preliminary report. Here, the very word of the goddess of law is written. Cause of death, stab wound to the neck, died instantly. Murder weapon, sharp metal object. The victim was stabbed multiple times in the same spot with a sharp object, although they were unable to determine the actual shape of the murder weapon. They have clear proof it was a sharp metal object. So, do you still stand by your claim? That a dog used a sharp object to kill the victim? This can't be! That is all. I don't know, if this guy trained his dog to do all this other stuff, I'm sure he trained him to kill with such an object himself. Like one of those chisels. Wait, the tunnel contains the dog's footprints. Perhaps it may have been one of Anubis's walking courses. I can never tell what Anubis gets up to outside my cell. Something feels unnatural about all this, but I have no evidence. Courtney Pie, you sure pulled out a hidden gem at the very last moment. She waited for the perfect time to reveal the autopsy report. Have I let her outwit me again? Appointed Attorney Shields. Here's the autopsy report from earlier. I apologize for the delay. No, it's alright. Thank you. Gladly accepted. Mr. Shields. I don't believe it's necessary to hold hands while exchanging documents. I'd advise you to stop. Huh? Persist any longer and I shall call on the strength of the goddess of law. Oh boy. I'll be careful. Justine, well done. Just as I planned. I only acted in accordance to your instructions. The autopsy report came straight from the police. I can't refute it. However, if the murder weapon wasn't the dog, Dogen will be cleared of suspicion. The merciful goddess of law so decrees. If you choose to yield now, your badge will not be taken.
What do you do, sir? She says that, but...
My answer remains the same. Judge Courtney, it's as I said before. I will see my job through. I will not yield to threats. So even now, you still refuse to give up. If you want to keep your badge, this may be your last chance. Right now, I'm a defense attorney's assistant. What I protect is not my badge, but my client. The goddess of law grows weary of your sentiment. Now we're talking. Miles is starting to understand that a defense attorney never gives up. Actually, those are the words of your old man. My father. It really is in your blood. You're the spitting image of him right now. You said it yourself. You changed since you were tainted by Von Karma. It's only now that I've actually come to believe it. Mr. Shields. Well then, Miles. Now's the time to put those skills to the test. Think beyond your limits. If the murder weapon was a sharp object, does that really negate your reasoning? The murder weapon was a sharp object. That's it. There were 5 chisels placed inside this special cell. I'll bet I'll bet it has to do with that pocket chisel. The one that has a bell attached to it. Dogen is a former assassin. It's quite possible he could kill someone with just a chisel. In that case, the weapon that killed Horace Knightley was... Is that all?
Hold it.
Well... Evidence is everything, didn't you say? The murder weapon was a sharp metal object. However, such a weapon has yet to be found. What? So what are you trying to say? The only decisive evidence is the actual murder weapon itself. And that was in plain sight this whole time. The real murder weapon is... Dogen's chisel. Take responsibility for your own statements. The scene of the crime was Mr. Knightley's cell. You said so yourself. If the evidence changes, then so will my logic. That too is courtroom procedure, is it not? If the chisel was used, that means the killer was human. However, the fact remains that we cannot deny this security photo. Yeah, what about that photo? I'll give you the answer. This photo shows the moment the dog leapt at him. Dogen's dog leapt at Knightley. However, the victim did not die at that time. Didn't die. He was only knocked unconscious. They did note that there wasn't a whole lot of blood found at the scene. The dog didn't move a dead body, it moved the unconscious Knightley. So did it drag him to the workroom then, where Dogen then killed him later? And the real killer was its owner. I see, if the victim was moved, it would have been possible for Dogen to commit the murder. And use the murder weapon. Indeed, the killer is Sirhan Dogen. It can only be you. I'll bet your teacher used to write on your report card, needs to pay more attention on what others say. I would think that describes you more. We examined that room, every crook and granny, right, Justine? Okay, kind of mangled the... We examined all 4 of Mr. Dogen's chisels. But the pocket... Where's the pocket chisel now? And found no traces of blood.
Hold it.
Thank you, Judge Courtney. Thanks to you, I'm now certain. Thanks to me? Whatever do you mean? When I came here earlier, I saw 5 chisels. That's right, there were definitely 5 there before. Oh, so the one that disappeared was... the smallest one, probably for portable use. Dogen, where is that chisel? I am not free to leave this place. I have no need for a portable chisel. Not free to leave? In that case, he mustn't have been free to hide the dead chisel either. Dogen, you just dug your own grave. It seems you know something. Would you care to show it? Dogen couldn't leave, so the place he hid the chisel is... in his own cell, then?
Take that!
Dogen is a prisoner, so he can't leave his cell freely. Perhaps he could have sent his dog out to dispose of it. But he would not have been able to confirm the weapon's location. So, what does that leave? Above all else, special metal tools are allowed in the cell. Even if one chisel were to appear here, no one would suspect a thing. You'd be a fool not to take advantage of that. I see. Of course, it's always safest if you do something yourself. But I examined everything. I didn't find any hiding places in the cell. I'm certain that the murder weapon is here. The reason you haven't found it is because it was cleverly hidden. You say I hid it? Where exactly? Where could he have hidden it? I have to remember everything up to this point. There must be some clue. Does this mean what I think it means? Let's get going, Mr. Edgeworth. Come to think of it, that dog hasn't barked at me once today. Previously, when I came to the special cell, it barked on Dogen's command. That's it. That's what's been out of place. There's just one place he could have hidden the murder weapon. Giving up already? How dull, how dull. I will. Present evidence. The piece of evidence shows where you concealed the murder weapon.
Take that!
Hasn't your dog been awfully quiet today? Now that you mention it, it hasn't barked at all. Sir Dogen, open that dog's mouth now. Anubis doesn't bark needlessly. I ordered him to do that before. In that case, order to bark now. Naturally, you should be able to, if you have nothing to hide. It was inevitable. Anubis, show them your mouth. As you can see, What? Why a chisel? The dog really had one in his mouth. I thought he was unusually quiet. Was he unable to follow the discussion? Sebastian, could you call the forensics department? Urgently, please. I got it. A reaction. This chisel tests positive for blood. What? I guess that proves my theory wasn't just nonsense. Would this chisel be the murder weapon, then? It reacted positively for blood, there's no doubt about that. Mr. Sirhan Dogen, now that the murder weapon has been found, I must ask you for your testimony. We know how your dog got to the detention center, and we found the murder weapon. Do you still think you can talk your way out of this? Interesting. This guy, even at a time like this, he's still smiling. Well, Anubis, it seems everyone's become suspicious of you. It's quite troubling, but since it's come to this, we have no choice but to tell the truth. I did not kill anyone. I have long since grown weary of killing. What's this? His face looks completely composed. It seems we'll need to listen to Mr. Dogen's explanation. Please promptly give your testimony. Certainly. First of all, I would like you to explain my motive. Yeah, the only thing connecting the two was that chess game, but would he really kill him over that? I do not know anyone by the name of Knightley. We share no connection. So I wouldn't think some motive for murder would just appear out of nowhere. Or are you insinuating my Anubis had a motive? He only bares his fangs at others on my command. I do not hunger for blood so much as to kill a man I do not even know. Coming from an assassin, it sure is persuasive. An assassin who only kills acquaintances. I doubt that would be profitable. I may kill strangers in my line of work, but I never make it personal. Is there evidence that shows a connection between Knightley and Dogen? Yep. Let's see, where is it in here? Yeah. No, I object.
Objection!
You've lost your touch, Sirhan Dogen. If you had your dog clean up after you, you should have disposed of this, too. This is a record of a Correspondence chess game found in the victim's cell. This record and the chessboard in your cell both clearly depict the same game. What? Okay. Let me take a pause for a moment again, and we'll continue this in a few minutes. Alright. As... keep digging into this. So we've established the connection between Dogen and Knightley. But are we going to suggest... But he's the type to kill someone over a game of chess. Is probably what we're going to get into now. I've heard that the number of possible chess positions is around 10 to the 120th power. 10 times 10, 120 times? 100, 1,000? Is that even a real number? Indeed, there's absolutely no way those two could have conceded by chance. Coincided by chance. Tell us your reason for killing Knightley. Unless you intend to explain this is a coincidence. Well, don't they say that the truth is stranger than fiction? It is as you said, this is merely a coincidence. There's no way that could have happened. My Correspondence chess opponent was the victim in this incident. What a horrible coincidence. Aren't you shocked too, Anubis? Looks like I'll have to tell them the truth, Anubis, my boy. The animal show or something, that was when everyone left. Anubis brought the body to my cell. He had already been stabbed in the neck with the murder weapon. We did follow Missile's trail from where the body was discovered, here to Dogen's cell, and then to the secret passage. I did not wish to be suspected, so I had Anubis carry the body to the workroom. After that, he pulled out the murder weapon and returned it to me. Oh, okay, this was... I guess this was what, saw. So you're saying the one who pulled out the weapon was Anubis? That's right. If I pulled out the murder weapon here, the blood would have been a problem. Mr. Edgeworth, isn't this what that Saw It guy said? Exactly. A large black dog was biting onto the neck of the victim. What did you say? It was a truly hellish scene. That dog killed him. I see, so that means Saw It witnessed the moment the murder weapon was pulled out. Yes, that prisoner's testimony. It surprised me when I first heard it. It's not often that Anubis makes a blunder like that, right, boy? Now, I believe that explains my actions. So you're saying he was already dead when Anubis dragged him back here. I did not kill him. All I did was remove the murder weapon. Now, will that be all? Anubis is getting tired. And I'm presuming, assuming he's telling the truth, if the murder weapon was a chisel, then, again, suspicion would immediately fall on him.
Objection!
Whoa there, just a moment, Mr. Dogen. Mr. Shields? Isn't there one thing you haven't explained? Why would you need to pull out the murder weapon in the first place? Well, I think I just explained that. That's right. I understand why he'd move the body to draw suspicion away from him. But he didn't need to retrieve the murder weapon. I thought him just a fool, but how quickly his scent has changed. Care to elaborate, Mr. Dogen? It was because of this bell. Oh, the bell was the bell attached to the murder weapon, and the bell on my dog's neck. Oh, yeah. They share a distinctive shape, wouldn't you say? Yeah, that's another point that would draw suspicion. The assassin, Sirhan Dogen's trademark. An assassin's trademark? The blind assassin, Sirhan Dogen. He always appears at the sound of a bell. The sound of a bell ringing in the dark of night is said to be the last thing his target hears. So is somebody trying to frame him, then? You remember well. It has been a while since you last saw my bells, after all. When I prosecuted you in court, I confiscated a knife with a bell attached to it. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom-made, attached to my knife and Anubis's collar. If that's true, then how did our culprit get a hold of it? Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas, one has been confiscated and is not in my possession. When Anubis brought the body here, I heard a familiar sound. I thought my knife must have been embedded in the body. So imagine my confusion when I found out it was merely a chisel with my bell attached. Indeed, your knife is nothing like this chisel. Either way, those bells are my trademark. Moreover, I am the only one in this prison who uses chisels. With all this, I knew I would be falsely suspected. So I removed the murder weapon and hid it.
Hold it!
So you're claiming that you only moved the body. Didn't I tell you? That chisel isn't mine. If you think I'm lying, go ahead and check for my fingerprints. Sebastian. Huh? Me? How do I check for... Oh, for the love of... Forensics. Yes, ma'am. Reaction. We have fingerprints. They're Knightley's, Justine. Knight? What about Dogen's? Nope. Just Knightley's. And there's no evidence of prints being wiped, either. What does that mean? That he committed suicide? That doesn't make much sense. Oh only Knightley's fingerprints? It can't be.
Should we re-examine it?
See now? I never even touched that chisel. Because I ordered Anubis to carry it in his mouth. In other words, the fingerprints belong to the chisel's original owner. The murder weapon's owner was the victim? This is perplexing. At any rate, I did not touch the murder weapon. In other words, the killer could not have been me. Isn't that right? Ugh. I have nothing to refute that. How could this... Is he really not the killer? Could Dogen's testimony actually be true? This can't be. It seems this is sufficient enough not to warrant any further explanation. As it stands, you have not changed the state of this case. I believe this is more than enough reason for us to relieve you of your badge. What? That's a bunch of bull. To save any needless fuss, I suggest you hand over your badge now.
This is bad, sir. They sound serious.
It's regrettable, but with those prints as decisive evidence, I'll have to rethink my logic from step one. But there are still many unexplained things. Why would Mr. Knightley be carrying a chisel? It could be used for many things, perhaps even prison escapes. So is he digging... So could he have been digging the tunnel? Well then, how did he carry it into the prison? I mean, the prisoners aren't even allowed cutlery, right, Mr. Edgeworth? That was what was hidden in the chessboard. Mr. Edgeworth? Even if your reasoning is off at first, you shouldn't let that confuse you. The most important thing is to arrive at the truth. Isn't that right? It doesn't matter how you get there. The end result is to save Simon. We have to do everything we can for his sake.
Well said, Kay.
Nice one, Kay. I really want to scout you for the law firm now. Remember when Uncle Ray said, a defense attorney never gives up? Miles, do you understand the true meaning behind those words? The true meaning of those words. Defense attorneys carry the fate of their client on their shoulders. You're the only person your client can rely on. Just like with Mr. Keyes. We're the only ones who can save him now. We're linked by fate to our clients. That's why we must never give up. There's no way Uncle Ray can go against the teachings of Gregory. So, what will you do? Currently, I'm a defense attorney's assistant. No, an assistant at my father's firm. I've made a commitment to this case. Therefore, if I don't save my client, I cannot say I've achieved it. I will abide by this, to save Simon Keyes. No matter how many times my logic fails, I'll always find another possibility. Okay, you're finally back! Well then, let's search for that other possibility. To start with, do you think there was a way Mr. Knightley could have brought the chisel into the prison? The method Knightley used to bring the chisel into the prison was...
Take that!
Yep. Normally metal objects can't be brought into the detention center or the prison. They'd just be caught by the security gate. However, there is one way to avoid this. And that is if they're sent... in a package to the detention center. That gate is only used on people. In other words, packages sent to the detention center undergo a simpler check. So they don't use a metal detector for that? This never should have happened. It seems the guards were too careless. Knowing this, Knightley asked Simon to send him a package. Namely, a chessboard containing the chisel. Well, this has solved one of our problems. The fact that the chisel was not Mr. Dogen's, but Mr. Knightley's. Given this, one major issue remains. The security camera shows a dog attacking the victim. As long as that exists, I'll maintain that Dogen is the killer. But Dogen never touched the murder weapon. I'm stumped. We also desire a conclusion to this matter.
Mr. Edgeworth, we can use one of my secret weapons, sir. Secret weapon number 4. The video analyzing machine, Mr. Analysis.
What's with that ridiculous name?
I named it myself, sir. This will let us analyze video footage in detail.
Go ahead, you'll soon see I'm not lying. I don't know what will come of this, but all we can do now is investigate.
Mr. Edgeworth, do you know how to use Mr. Analysis?
A video analysis machine. I guess. Detective Gumshoe, could you show me how to use it?
Of course, sir. Fundamentally, it's the same as investigating a crime scene. Just examine anything that piques your curiosity.
To examine, I just press the X button.
I'd like you to look at the buttons below the monitor. The left and right buttons will rewind and fast forward respectively. And the center button lets you pause the video. Let's make good use of it to advance our investigation, sir.
To rewind and fast forward, I use the Y and A buttons. And to pause, I use the B button.
Well, pause, you can go into the previous frame or the next frame. Just use the same left and right buttons as before, sir. Next, I'll explain how to zoom in. Just point the cursor at the area you want to zoom in on, and press the button on the upper left of Mr. Analysis. The one that says zoom.
You can also use the L button. Okay, so we've got the oh so convenient enhance button. Gotcha. Okay.
Can't actually play back the video in this mode, so keep that in mind.
What should I do if I want to zoom out? Okay.
And that concludes the explanation, sir.
Okay. This is the video from the detention center's camera. I believe this was the moment when Knightley was being attacked by the dog. That wasn't the case. What does it show? Is the person in this video really Knightley? And what is the true form of the black silhouette attacking this person? I should check the video and try to find the answers to those two questions.
There could be unexpected things in unexpected places. So be sure to check every nook and cranny of the video, sir.
make out anything in detail there. That doesn't really look like... That doesn't look like a... Yeah, that doesn't really look like a big dog, does it? I fear we may have made a grave miscalculation. This animal, this silhouette, no matter how you look at it, it's not a dog. That animal is... Ooh. Ooh, wait a sec. From the silhouette, I'd say the animal is not a dog, but a bear. That... Remember that bear cub? So then in that photo I took, those footprints must have belonged to this bear, yes. Yeah, the animal knight that Elbert had. Huh? Did you say a bear? Yes, that man is the first to come to mind. Now that we know this black shadow isn't a dog, but a bear, there's a good possibility that the man being attacked is not Knightley.
Whatever can show that this man isn't Knightley. Should be somewhere in the video, wouldn't it, sir?
Since his face is not visible, it would be difficult to get direct confirmation. However, perhaps there's something indirectly reflected.
Something reflected? Hey, isn't there a mirror in the cell, sir?
Indeed. That could be worth examining. Get a good look at his face in the... Is that what we... A reflection of this person can be seen in this mirror. Is that a cap on his head?
Actually, it looks kind of like the caps the prison guards wear, sir.
You don't think...
You don't think it was a guard who was attacked? Have you received a report of any guard being attacked by an animal? No, not that I've heard, sir. Then it was someone else wearing a guard's uniform. I see. I have evidence that shows what this cap is. Right, a guard's uniform was stolen.
Take that!
There was no report of a guard being attacked by an animal. However, we did hear the guard's uniform was stolen. Putting two and two together, I'd say this was a disguise for the purpose of a prison escape. Disguised as a guard? That sounds like it could have been successful, sir. Huh? Speaking of prison escapes... Indeed, that person certainly was successful. We were all under the impression that the person in this video is Knightley. But it's his cell after all, why would it be anyone else? That line of logic no longer holds. Remember the tunnel under his bed? It's possible whoever used this tunnel is the one in this video. It seems it's time to answer that question. Just who is the person in this video?
Take that!
The person wearing the guard's uniform is... the escaped prisoner, J. Elbert. Probability is extremely high. His pet is a polar bear cub. But the bear here is black. We have evidence that can explain this matter. It was because of the mud treatment that Sod gave him. Think back to Frank Sod's testimony. That's the rubber glove I dropped. Where'd the mud on this glove come from? Oh, that's the mud from my mud packs. At the time I was practicing applying my mud packs. Could you tell me when this took place on the day of the incident? Since the animal show had started, I'd say it was around 9 AM. The mud packs turned the animals' bodies pitch black, and my heart was pure white. I was totally engrossed with covering the animals in mud. During the animal show, Mr. Sawit was applying mud packs to the animals. So then among those animals was this polar bear, yes. Prosecutor Edgeworth, there is a huge contradiction in your argument. The security camera footage... Judge Courtney, you're quite right. Sawit used the mud packs during the animal show. Knowing this, a new contradiction in the video comes to light. A new contradiction? Okay, do you know when this footage was taken? It was after the mud packs were used. That would put it around 9 AM. In that case, you should notice something strange about this video. What's strange about it? Oh, right here, the timestamp.
Take that!
The time Sawit covered the polar bear in mud was around 9 AM. Which means this video should also have been taken at 9 AM. However, the timestamp reads 6 AM. On
On that day, the prisoners went to the courtyard to watch the animal show. At this time, only 3 people remained behind. Dogen in the special cell, Saw It in the workroom applying his mud packs, and the one who put his escape plan in motion at that moment, J. Elbert. Elbert left the polar bear in Saw It's care and entered the secret tunnel. However, the bear escaped from Saw It and followed after its owner. And just as he was chasing after the escaped bear, Saw It happened to witness the dog pulling the murder weapon out of the body. If Saw It's testimony is correct, this video must have been taken at around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp is off by 3 hours. Why would the timestamp be off like that? Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to examine the security camera. Might have been tampered with. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. I asked all the guards and... It seems the camera's power was cut off for a moment, throwing off the timestamp. What? The camera's an old model, so if it loses power, the clock stops as well. In that case, this means the camera's power was cut for 3 hours. While I'm at it, I've got some more information for you, sir. You heard that Knightley denied stealing the key, right? It seems nobody would believe the words of a criminal, but... Knightley testified, I was knocked out too. During the time that... That may not necessarily be a lie. My, there you all are. Getting pretty packed in here. Making progress in your investigation. Can I be of any help? Actually, Warden Roland, there is something we must report to you. The escaped prisoner, J. Elbert, is most likely still inside the prison. He's disguised himself. Here's the proof. The person visible in this security photo is Elbert. So perhaps he's still in this very building. Come to think of it, didn't Mr. Elbert have a bracelet like the other prisoners? The bracelet would have been concealed under the uniform sleeves. Moreover, the prison's main gate does not have a sensor to detect bracelets. All he would have to do is avoid any doors with sensors inside the prison. That's right. So if he didn't enter the cells or the workrooms... Could one of you guys be J. Elbert? Ah, Rocky! Found you. Stop it! What are you doing? Betrayed again by your polar bear buddy. It would seem that Rocky has answered that question for us. No! Rocky, this is all your fault! This little guy loves you so much. It's enviable. Right then, seize him at once. Wait, there's something we must hear from this prisoner. It's necessary if we're to find the truth. I'd like permission to interrogate him. Understood. What do you want out of me?
Elbert's escape route is linked to Knightley's cell. So it's highly likely he knows something about the crime. I'd like to ask you about the day the body was found. So it was you guys. You were the ones who found my secret tunnel. Took me ages to dig that. The day the body was found was the day I'd planned to escape. I was in disguise. Then Rocky followed after me. He was all covered in mud. I panicked and returned to my cell. Damn, if only you guys hadn't shown up. If only Knightley hadn't died. I mean, he's right. He was back in his cell after the murder occurred. After the body was discovered, so he couldn't have made his escape then. You say you dug the tunnel. What did you use to dig it? Oh, that. Just hammers, spoons, stuff like that. I bought them from the supplier, but it was all for nothing. No need to lose your temper. There's always next time. On the day of the incident, it's possible that Elbert met Knightley while he was alive. I'll have to listen to his testimony carefully. Took me ages to dig that. The day the body was found was the day I'd planned to escape. Let's hear more about this. Did you obtain the guard's uniform from the supplier too? Yeah, that's right. Seems he got it by threatening a guard. That guy went and stole it from someone's locker. So when you went through the tunnel, you were already dressed like a guard? No, to ensure the clothes wouldn't get stained with mud, I carried them with me. Once I got out of the hole and changed clothes, getting out the cell doors was simple. And that's when Rocky ran up and jumped on me. That must be the moment the security camera captured. I see. Could you add that to your testimony? Simple. Getting out the cell door was simple, you say? Yeah, compared to going through the tunnel, it was very simple. You inhabit a prison, yet you seem to know the layout of the detention center quite well. What's so wrong about that? You're sure I've been to the detention center too? In that case, he should have known about it from the start. When Knightley was in his cell, the door should have been locked. Which means there's a piece of evidence Elbert needed to escape. He's the one who stole the keys.
Objection!
You say it was simple getting through the cell door. Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with that? Even though you managed to arrive at Knightley's cell, opening the door wasn't so simple. How did you intend to unlock the cell door? J. Elbert, you had the key to Knightley's cell. I got nothing like that. That's it. It was open. It was already unlocked when I got there.
Objection!
Indeed, the cell was vacant after Knightley's death, which is why, at the time we conducted our investigation, it was unlocked. Your successful escape attempt occurred after Knightley's death, so the door would have been open. However, you tried to escape once before then. The plan was foiled thanks to Rocky. The video shows it. Yes, that was during the animal show, before Knightley's death was known. And the cell door was unlocked because no one knew he was dead. Without the key to Knightley's cell, your escape would have been impossible. Ugh. That means it can't be. It's exactly what you think. In the case of the stolen key, the culprit is Elbert. You were the one who attacked the guard, weren't you? The guard and Knightley too, in order to steal the cell key. It wasn't me. I don't know any Knightley. After stealing the key, you returned to your cell as a precautionary measure. Then you waited for a time when the prison would be mostly vacant. That was just before Knightley's death became known. In other words, during the animal show. But in the end, the plan was foiled thanks to Rocky. Don't screw with me. If you don't have evidence, I'll still win by decision. Besides, it was that Knightley guy who attacked the guard, right? I think not. Regarding the theft of the keys, Knightley was the victim. This proves Knightley was the victim who was attacked in his cell. Okay, is this where the... Is this when... Is this where the blood was spilled? In Knightley's cell, there are traces of his blood which had been wiped away. Again, it was stated before that it was pretty minor traces. Not like evidence of like a pool of blood where he'd been stabbed. I believe this is more than enough proof Knightley was attacked in his cell. You attacked those two people and stole the key, didn't you? Ah! Damn. I never thought you'd find the bloodstain I wiped away with a newspaper. Why would you go through all the trouble of wiping the bloodstain? On the hands of Knightley and the guard, there were obvious signs of a scuffle, you know? If the bloodstains were uncovered, they'd find out there was another attacker. And if anyone looked around the bed, the tunnel I dug would have been discovered. Ah, yes. So, you're trying to buy more time for your escape attempt. But I'm afraid to say your plan still ended in failure. Now then, hand over the keys to Knightley's cell. Ugh. Oh! Ugh! Oh. Damn it! No way. How could an amateur like you knock me out? Here, I got the keys right here. Hold it. If you have that key, then that means... That's right, Judge Courtney. You reasoned that Knightley stole the key and used it to leave his cell. From there, he entered Mr. Keyes' cage and was moved to the workroom. Ah, so that theory kind of falls apart now. However, the very foundation of that hypothesis has collapsed. see. In that case, there was only one person who could have moved Knightley. The criminal must have been someone who knew about the secret tunnel. Hey, are you suggesting... Elbert, you're under arrest, pal! Wait, I didn't do nothing. If we're to consider what we know so far... Is he the killer? There's still a lot that doesn't make sense. Sure, I knocked out those two guys, then I stole the keys. And after that, I waited for the perfect time to enter that guy's cell. But the cell was empty then. There was no dead body either. Also, how could I have gotten into the workroom? That's true. I couldn't even leave my own cell, right? It's true, you only had the key to Knightley's cell. But there's also Dogen's dog. What? It'd be possible for the dog to carry the body from the cell to the workroom. I see, so you're saying there's an accomplice. Yeah, I mean, apparently the animals can move from like between rooms or cells freely, so which seems kind of the crime would have been possible if Elbert and Dogen were working together. It's perfectly plausible. Somehow Elbert managed to carry Knightley's body to his own cell. And then the dog must have carried it to the workroom. Yes, because all the animals can move freely in the prison. But that's not the case for the path between the detention center and the prison. The only one who could use that route was you, Elbert. What if there was another route that you didn't know about? There couldn't have been. The tunnel is a straight path, is it not? Yeah, seems like it. I didn't have enough time to dig any more than I did. I only dug halfway up the corridor. What? You mean to say you didn't dig the entire tunnel? Did Knightley dig the other half? When I got to that cell, the tunnel was already there. There was a tunnel linking my cell to the well. To the well? Looking down the well from the courtyard, there's no mistaking it. They've always been connected. I just continued the tunnel with my digging. What was that hole doing there in the first place? Who knows? Maybe another inmate dug it in an attempt to escape. Or maybe the animals dug it. Maybe they wanted to drink from the well. That's highly doubtful. There's no water in that well anymore. It's all dried up. Wait a minute. That's it. For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. A nice scent? I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. Oh, is that where the scent? I believe we've come across it before.
Take that!
Knightley's body was giving off a sweet, candy-like scent. We used a police dog to track that scent, and that led us to discover the tunnel. By any chance, could this be the same scent as the well? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I know what you're trying to say. That the scent proves the body was carried down through the tunnel. Exactly. And J. Elbert. You're the only one who could have used the tunnel. Thank you, Mr. Elbert. I'm very grateful to you. At last the truth comes to light. Mr. Elbert, wouldn't it be wise to confess now? To being an accomplice, I mean. Don't tell me even you suspect me too. Judge Courtney, it seems you and I have come to the same conclusion. Not at all. Our thoughts on this matter are still quite different. Mr. Elbert was certainly an accomplice, but an accomplice to Horace Knightley. That's something I was wondering. Were they working together to try and escape?
Hold it!
But did one attempt to betray the other? What do you mean? Mr. Elbert did not move the body. He simply lent the victim his keys. What? It would seem Mr. Elbert did indeed strike Mr. Knightley on the head. However, Mr. Knightley was not knocked out. The two must have made a little negotiation. Negotiation? For Mr. Knightley's escape plan to work, he would have needed the keys to his cell. So Mr. Elbert stole them from the guard. On the other hand, for Mr. Elbert to escape, he needed to get to Mr. Knightley's cell. But if Mr. Knightley had seen him and yelled, the plan would have gone down the drain. And so they negotiated. I didn't negotiate nothing. Oh? You still intend to deny it? I see. So in other words, we're back where we started. Mr. Elbert opened the cell door, and Mr. Knightley entered Mr. Key's cage. And then he was moved into the prison. Of course, and then he was killed in the prison workroom. Oh. Weren't you listening? The scent on the body shows it must have been moved through the tunnel. Knightley was moved from the detention center through the tunnel. Please wait until someone is finished before speaking. I do not claim that he wasn't moved through the tunnel. What? You don't? The scent shows that the body was moved through the tunnel. However, that does not mean it came from the detention center. What do you mean? That sure sounds like a contradiction to me. Isn't there one more possibility? The well in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down from there. The courtyard? The well in the courtyard? Mr. Keyes carried the cage not to the workroom, but to the courtyard. Mr. Knightley was killed in the courtyard, and his body was dropped down the well. Wasn't there a padlocked grate over the well, though? And then the body at the bottom of the well was moved by Mr. Dogen's dog. Now, there's one thing I'd like you all to remember. Before the body was discovered, what was happening in the courtyard? The animal show. The animal show, right? Regina and Simon were there. Wait, Simon? Oh! I see you understand. Who then dropped the body down the well? Judge Courtney. She's a tough opponent. Her flexible way of thinking enables her to adapt and come up with her own deductions. Mr. Knightley was not carried to the workroom, but to the courtyard. And Mr. Keyes was off the stage for 15 minutes. This was when he dropped Mr. Knightley down the well. It's as simple as that. Judge Courtney, your reasoning is sound, I'll admit that. However, let's say the body was dropped down the well. That didn't have to be done during the show. It could have happened at a different time. Unfortunately for you, Prosecutor Edgeworth, that's not possible. What? When the show started, Mr. Elbert was in the tunnel, on his way to the cell block. Mr. Elbert, at that time, did you happen to see a body in the tunnel? Nope, nothing like that. So if the body had been dropped before the show, Mr. Elbert would have seen it. However, he has stated he did not see a body. So it's impossible to think that the body was dropped before the show. And after the show, the body was discovered in the workroom. In other words, the body being dropped down the well and then moved to the workroom could only have been done during the show. And the only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes. Ugh. Mr. Edgeworth, what should we do? If the body was moved through the well, that does put Mr. Keyes at a major disadvantage. However, the notion that the body was moved through the well is only a hypothesis. Yeah, wouldn't his body have been... like, wouldn't there be injuries on the body that would suggest that he fell from that height? That doesn't mean there's evidence. I am obligated to recognize that fact. Will you allow me to investigate the courtyard once more? I give my approval in the name of the Goddess of Law. Reinvestigating the courtyard. I fear this may be our final chance. Now what? Fire? Could be another prison break, pal. Should we evacuate? Everyone, please remain calm. This is just a signal for the evening meal. It's a little loud, so I can understand why you'd be surprised. It sure scared me. I'm terribly sorry. And with that, everyone, please return to your posts. J. Elbert, it's also time for you to return to your room. I got it. Let's go, Rocky. Warden Roland, we'll be proceeding to the courtyard for another investigation. Isn't it time for you to go home as well, Mr. Edgeworth? It looks like we're out of time. Why don't you continue this another time? But the investigation... Today's been a big day, right? With the escaped prisoner and all. So I'm afraid I can't let outsiders like you loiter around any longer. This is my decision as the warden of this prison. Looks like it can't be helped. The warden's word can be called the law of the prison. Prosecutor Edgeworth, this means we will have to carry out our investigation another day. Until then, you may hold on to your prosecutor's badge. And with that, I leave you. Now, I think it's time you all left. Well, looks like we'll have to continue the investigation tomorrow. Knightley's body was dropped down the well and was carried to the workroom from Mr. Elbert's cell. This is Judge Courtney's logic, but is it correct? And Judge Courtney claims that Mr. Keyes transported him, but was Mr. Keyes really the only one with a chance to move him? Mr. Edgeworth, let's do our best tomorrow. We have to save Simon, no matter what. Indeed, I agree. I must prove Mr. Keyes' innocence without fail. And this... that part of the chapter ends. Okay, then... I think with this, I'm going to call it a night. And tomorrow, hopefully, we should be able to finish this chapter then. So, everyone have a good night, and I'll see you then.